Then it's step 19, Libra. Today's a compassionate and caring day, but today's a productive day. Today's a draw your line with yourself day, which is probably going to show up as drawing your line with the world. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. If you guys are feeling like I'm feeling, it's been unbelievable, crazy last couple days. Put in where you're from. Give me a bunch of likes down here. Here, give me a bunch of likes. Sup up from shitty Chicago. Hey, Mark Lou in Vancouver, welcome here. Netherlands, welcome, welcome. Give me a bunch of likes, guys. Hit the like button over and over again. Good morning, Neelam. How you doing? San Diego, Ontario, Canada. Where in Ontario, Poldeep? Morning, Las Vegas. Living in Las Vegas or losing Las Vegas? Is it losing Las Vegas?
I think so, yeah.
Turkey. Welcome, welcome. We're doing some work. The people who ship for us are all from Turkey. Hello from Greece. Amarillo, Texas. Edmonton, Alberta. Neelam, you're born in the same hospital as me, I bet you, right? San Diego. De Mexico, it looks like Cludad. Might have announced this. Babyface Photography. Maha. Good morning. Or say Grand Rising. I'm not saying good morning anymore. You guys gotta stop me when I say that. Because morning, I don't mourn. I'm not mourning anything. It's not a good time of mourning. And you think about a weekday, because at the end of each day you're weak, and then you have a weekend to celebrate all the weakness you had throughout the week. It's just a day. New Jersey in the house. Mark from the Netherlands. Yes, crazy energy. Kelowna, BC. Hey, Kim, Kelly. Welcome. Winona, Missouri. San Diego. Nano V, Turkey? You gotta be kidding me. The device we use is Nano V. That's spelled the same way too, Nano V. I'm sure it enunciates it differently. Joshua Tree. Oh, Karen, are you coming out to see us at Joshua Tree? We're gonna be there on the 21st. Ohio. OC, California. I started off this whole journey in Orange County, California. We started off in on Southwest Marine, on Marine Drive, right across from the BMW dealership. I think it's 2901 Marine Drive. That's where we started off at the Rubenstein Center. South Carolina, North Carolina, all the Carolinas in between. Good evening from India. We were supposed to come see you, now we can't. You guys don't like Canadians. I mean, you like Canadians, but they don't. Amsterdam, Los Angeles. I think we're going to be out to India anyways, though. We have some political reach, and that political reach is wanting help. I can guarantee you right now, countries are wanting help right now. Grand Rising, hello from Luxembourg. Thought about spending some time there. We were going to put a foundation there, and then I thought, I want to be somewhere warm. Lake County, California, low energy. Yes, low energy. Gulf, Ontario. Leaving Las Vegas, that's it. Good day. Quebec, parlez-vous français? Je m'appelle Garry. Great risings, Gary. I have a lot of French jokes, but I can't tell them online here. French Canadian jokes, French Canadian and Anglo Canadian jokes. They're together, so like no shaming of each one, just laughing at each one. Good evening from Finland. Hey Scott, how you doing? I saw you in a post the other night, looking good. Good journey, New Jersey. Almost done with 28-day reset. Flax, magnificent. 28-day reset. Let's see what's in your journey. Man, it's such a transformative experience. It's hard to explain if you haven't done it yet, the 28-day reset. And it's because it's based on a couple principles. One of them is if you maintain a course or action or view for 28 days, that's an entire moon cycle, it changes you as a person. It physically changes your expression. That's why rehabs are 28 days. And then if you do something for 3 days in a row, it changes your perception. That's why a psych hold is 3 days. So like a 5150 in the United States, they lock you up for 3 days to see, are you still psychotic at the end of that? And then 28 days is if you're having problems with addictions in your body, they lock you up for 28 days. Grand Rising from Arizona, West Virginia. Good days. How's that going? Mountain Mama, West Virginia. Take me home. Oh, take me home, country roads. Take me home, country roads. from the place where I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. Aloha, Hawaii. Yeah, next time I come to Hawaii, I'm looking forward to getting laid. Boom, boom. But you guys know all about that one. Kona, Hawaii. Needville, Texas, Germany. Grand Rising from Los Angeles. Healer Optics 7820. Love to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Trinidad and Tobago. Nina. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. So let me ask you guys, the last 2 days, put in the comments, how did you feel? Was it just like intense in a weird way? Let me know how you're feeling. There's Cynthia, she's back in Mexico with all the humidity, so she's now curly haired again.
Like Irish. My Irish curls come back in Mexico. And I thought I'd better pop on because I was helping sing the Country Roads song. So
yes.
Hey everybody.
Hello
nice
from
to see all of you.
Clearwater, Florida. Intense low energy. Yeah, I've been having low energy since Libra Rise. Like literally going to sleep before my lives, which I get up at 5 in the morning, and then here I am at 8:30 taking a nap. Right, feeling unsure of myself. Feeling unsure of myself and my directions over the last few days. That's no problem, Kyla. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. It's because you're in the new reality. Yeah, and right now. We've got all this 0 degree energy, which means that you're evaluating where you're drawing the line today. Like today is the day you draw the line. If you guys want to know what's up for the rest of the week, go back to the wall and listen to Astro Monday with Chris Kawawski. He tells you week over week what's going to happen, and it has been spot on. I mean, spot on.
Spot on.
Stomach issues.
Hi, Laura. Hi, everybody.
Not feeling enough frustration.
I'll pop on later.
Not feeling enough frustration? Ruby Jean. Yeah, you got the Gemini here. Give me more. Playa de Carmen. Hey, Manton Teresa. We have in Playa, we have a lifestyle artist out there that's actually doing classes, I believe. Last 2 days, very traumatic. Anybody want to talk about the trauma over the last 2 days out of curiosity? If you do, put it in the comments right now. Because the last 2 days, like we were with our lifestyle artist level 2 last night, and every single person, same thing, same energy, same problems, just dressed up in a different view. Nulu, LOL, Gary, feeling like I'm enough. Crack me up. Give me more wisdom, Gary, to Geminis. Geminis, run for the hills. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I feel good. I've just been physically tired. That's the way I express it when all this balance, because it's balancing emotions. And today I was drawing lines. Today, this morning, even with my team and stuff like that, I was drawing lines. I'm like, we're on a mission. We're on a mission to help people, which means it's not always going to be comfortable. And it means that sometimes you're going to get your feathers ruffled. We don't have a lot of space in what we do. We don't have a lot of space in what we do to let personal stuff get involved when we're dealing with people. We come back, we come in our own space, and then we deal with stuff. But my first commitment is to my health, mental, emotional, perceptual, and then my next commitment is to share with you how that works with me, and to bring you more content that helps you adapt to the world. Like Chris Kawawski, one of the things is that he helped me through my transition. And for you guys, you still see it. Like I'm transitioning week over week. My face looks different. My body looks different. My brain, my emotions are different. I can't even believe I'm the person I am today. I would have never, ever guessed this 3-4 years ago. So like there's a line where you're meant to stay on and do more work, or when you're staying, or else there's a time to move on. Yes, it's knowing when to draw that line, that internal line with you. And when you learn where to draw that internal line with you, then you start to reflect in the outside world. But if you haven't figured out how to draw that internal line with you, then the world gives you all these mixed signals. You have people coming at you all over the place. Real Carolyn Riddle. Improved diet. Thank you. I'm on day 28. Okay, real Carolyn. Oh, I can't bring you up, real Carolyn Reynolds. It says I can't bring you up. Maybe you can request if you want to. We'll see if that works. Let's see here. Maybe I'll try it this way. Yeah, I'll try it out. I want to hear what your reflections are, because this is a cool day. This is a Cancer Grandmaster Cancer Day. It's a Grandmaster Taurus Day. Today's a manifestation day. Today's a separating what you want and what you don't want. Aquarius 13, Aquarius 3, in Mercury, and Aquarius 16. Whoa, lots of Aquarius. Easy for you to disconnect from the world. Thinking about Israel in general and being so removed from the horror, especially towards women, maybe there's a trapped emotion within me that's causing the intense sadness. I would say this is for real estate, Renique, I think it is. I would say it's not a trapped emotion if you're talking about it. When you start talking about your emotions, your brain's processing ways to get it out. So it's looking for ways to get it out. The danger is that the consciousness says, oh, it's because of you or because of this. Like, if you're having fear or anger, Israel's not causing you fear or anger unless you're physically there. So if you're not physically there, you may be getting it out because of what's happening. And then that goes into narratives and beliefs, because what we see online isn't always true. And I'm not saying anything's true or not. I'm saying I have learned from my personal experience that things that I would have literally died for and said, this is the way it is, I found out that they've not been true years later, decades later. Oh, maneuvers on horses? Oh, easy. What you just do is you go, and if they're fully educated on fascia, but not fascial maneuvers, they've got some work to do. Just trust me. So what you do to work on horses is the same thing you do to work on a person. So learn the fascial maneuvers on a person and pretend the horse is a person and do much of the same thing. Hey, Debbie Griffiths. Wow, you've been going through it, eh? Mental, emotional, perceptual energy, adapt to the world. Yep. Thanks, Neelam. Feeling younger. My 6-year-old daughter and 3-year-old friend were attacked by a dog. The 3-year-old had horrible bite to the face, required surgery. My goodness. Yeah. It's like you can't change what is, but it's working on how you perceive it. It's super important. Improved diet, but lost a good friend. Just differences. Yeah, I feel that too, man. Grand Rising, Devries. Grand Rising from Los Angeles. Today is my birthday. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Don't sing it 3 times. Hi, real Carolyn Reynolds. 16-degree Gemini. Okay, let's try that now. Mercury 18, Pluto 29, Virgo. Oh, you are feeling it right now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Don't sing it 3 times. Wow, I got a weird delay. Are you? Hi, real Carolyn Reynolds. 16-degree Gemini. Okay, try that. Are you hearing the delay?
No, not now.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, thank you for your posts. I've seen a couple of them come up. So you're a 16-degree Gemini?
Yes.
Jason is your polar opposite, 16-degree Sagittarius.
Okay.
Yeah, so learning him is like watching a male version of yourself, but with the mirror reversed.
Interesting. That's super cool.
Yeah, because Gemini is opposite Sagittarius.
Very.
So tell her where do you live, Carolyn?
I'm in Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah, and what do you do for a living, Carolyn?
I work from home, so I have a background in public relations, and I come from the corporate world, and I'm just working on my own right now, trying to figure out my path, actually.
How long have you been doing fascial maneuvers? I've seen you around for a couple months anyways, right?
Yeah, it's so Keith did an in-person fascial maneuver,
In
yeah,
Vancouver, yeah.
in Vancouver. Yeah, so that was like back in early September. So I haven't been doing it that long, just a couple of months.
Right, yeah. And so you got a chance to work with a lifestyle artist and a coach who did an in-person fascial maneuver session with you. What was that like?
It was great. I wasn't sure what to expect. He put me in the fetal position, and yeah, I didn't have a lot of emotion release at the time, but I walked out seeing more clearly. My daughter was with me, and I mentioned it, and you brought me up a while ago, and I mentioned that she was skittish. She's actually following you on Instagram now, so she's she's coming around, and we're trying some kidney maneuvers on her as well.
When's your daughter's birthday?
December 7th,
Oh,
1993.
Oh, another Sagittarius.
Yeah.
There's your reflection right in front of you.
You said that last time. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, so she's watching me pretty close.
And what's been changing in your world since you started fascial maneuvers?
So I've had more energy. I've had ups and downs during the 28-day reset. I go to the gym a lot and I weight train. So I've noticed a lot more up days than down days with fatigue and energy. I'm doing intermittent fasting, which seems to be working really well for me. Sleep's been up and down a little bit, but I don't know if that's my age and hormones and stuff too, because I'm 51, so I'm in that stage and age, right? So, but I'm taking magnesium.
That's actually not true. I mean, you're 51. The world says it, but look at me.
Yeah.
So that was a lie that was perpetrated upon us. But your hormones now. People who are 51 or 50 to 60 are having hormonal issues, but that's not necessarily the way it's supposed to be. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But do you feel that changing?
I do. Like I look in the mirror and I don't see 51. My mindset is not 51. Like, I mean, I've always been young. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet.
No,
but
I'm not kidding you. You look young. You don't look 51.
Well, and I take a lot of powdered collagen, diatomaceous earth, and magnesium baths. I do those once or twice a day. I've been doing all of that, taking all of the foundations and flow supplements, the curcumin. But one thing I do have a question about is my digestion. So I had weight loss surgery 18 years ago, and I malabsorbed calcium, iron, and fats typically. So during this 18 or 28-day program, I actually went off my iron supplements just got my iron from food. I wanted to see if I was going to see a change in uptake in nutrient absorption. And I'm actually on a waiting list. I got a 6-month waiting list here in Calgary for an iron infusion because we need to jumpstart my system. My iron was at 3 2 months ago. I got test results yesterday and it bumped up to 5, which is great because I haven't been taking any supplements. So clearly that's coming from the food, and that happened over the 1 month period.
It's a fool's game to take iron if you are deficient in iron, because your deficiency, the way they're measuring your blood. The way the blood works is it's always trying to stabilize everything. So if it's missing calcium, it'll pull it from your bones. And then your blood looks okay, and then one day it says, wait a second here, you got osteoporosis. So you're right, you're absorbing more, but that has 2 components to it. Number 1 is mineralization. If you don't have silica in your diet right now, especially living in North America, there's no way that you're going to absorb the minerals properly. That means you don't process water properly. That means hormones become unbalanced. So part of it is taking diatomaceous earth allows you to start absorbing the minerals from the foods that you're eating. So when you have an iron deficiency or copper deficiency or anything like that, the question isn't, let's go supplement more of that. That actually makes the problem worse. It's answering the bigger question is, why do I have the problem in the first place? So by going to the core element, everybody almost that we've tested in the world is deficient in silica, almost to a full. And so once you get the silica in, then the body starts absorbing even the other base elements like calphos, selenium, stuff like that. Once the elements are there, then the body gets the minerals. Once the minerals are there, the body processes the water, and then the hormones process properly. But it starts at the bare beginning. So when people are deficient in anything, I just get them to take minerals at the base. And then the other thing about the diatomaceous earth is it exfoliates your small intestine, because that's the next part. Whereas we've been eating food that's not healthy for us. We've been eating food that causes inflammation and sludge and backup in our small intestine. And when we detox somebody's small intestine, sometimes it comes out as this white gooey stuff or this black gooey stuff. And that's because the walls of the small intestine for years have been treated incorrectly. And as a result, it can't absorb, it can't get through there, because that's mucal lining that's then taken on a substance, like the black substance is taken on, and that's the chemicals. So that means your body can't absorb properly. And the reason why people don't really get this is because you can go 15 to 20 years without absorbing properly before you really have a big problem. And so people go, no, I've been doing this for the last 10 years, 15 years. And I'm like, okay, so you have. So continue on your path. You're not going to have an iron deficiency. If you had an iron deficiency, you would already be lethargic. So you're getting more energy. Generally, you're healthier. Your skin looks better than the last time I saw you. So that's the measurement that you need. So we put all of our faith into a blood test. But here's the truth. People all the time say, I got a blood test that says I'm bad, but I don't feel bad. Or I feel really bad, but my blood test doesn't say it. Think about it this way, okay? There's two types of testing. And if you had to do a test, I would do subclinical. You could pair it with blood, but blood test tells you how fast you're going. Like I'm going 60 miles an hour, you're going 60 miles an hour. But that's only part of the story. A subclinical panel, like a lot of Genova testing and stuff like this, functional medicine doctors, integrative medicine professionals will use testing. They're really expensive generally, and I wouldn't recommend them, but I'll just give you the scope of what, so you understand the concept. If you're going 60 and I'm going 60, it's only part of the story. But if my engine is running at 9,000 RPM to maintain 60 and yours is running at 3,000 RPM, one of us is going to look extremely different in 6 months, 9 months, a year, 18 months, whatever. And this is what we're not measuring. We're measuring the end result, which blood is supposed to be normalized. So by the time you have a problem in your blood, you're either sick or dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a weird world because we use blood as a diagnostic tool, and it is part of a diagnostic stack. I'm not saying it's not. But if I'm only using blood and I'm not looking at other things, I'm not looking at how your kidneys are functioning or how your liver's functioning or what you're catabolic, are you catabolic or anabolic? If I'm not looking at those things, it's not going to work. If you want to look for yourself, basically, Dr. Carey Reams was a doctor who was also an organic chemist, and he developed the terrain theory of the body, bioterrain therapy, saying our body is like soil, and if I get my pH balanced, the plants grow. If they're not balanced, they don't grow. They either burn up, get acidic, or they just don't grow and they get lethargic. Well, we're the same way. And so more accurately, the test, if you want to test, I would test your urine and your saliva, and I would do it 3 times a day, and I would do it for a week. And the reason why I would do that is because you would start to see a pattern develop. And if you are, I know that there's going to be some people that disagree with me out of here, but I've got tens of thousands of results as my form of science. So I don't care to argue about this. But Dr. Carey Reams said this, and it was true. If your pHs are balanced between your mouth pH and your urine pH, you're going to feel good. And when you feel good, your body's going to perform better. Even if your overall health is not that good, if my pH was 5.8 here and 5.8 down there, that's way too acidic, but I'm going to feel good. But if I'm 6.4 here and 5.8 there, I'm not going to feel good. I'm going to feel very acidic, or the other way around. So that's a better way to measure your own health, and then you don't need to wait for somebody to do it. You don't even have to wait for an iron infusion. By the time you get to an iron infusion, your body's completely healthy.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go in to get your infusion, and the information that they're using to give you the infusion is like 6 months too late. It's like people make decisions like on cancers and stuff like that all the time. And when's the MRI? It was one MRI. One. And they made a decision to cut something out or do something based on one piece of information. And what I learned in clinic was this. I would do all kinds of testing. I did 50,000 uncalled for, unnecessary tests on people because I wanted to experiment with their permission, of course. I said, hey, I helped you over here. Can you help me with my experiment? I'd like to do these tests on you. And I would do that. And on 10,000 people, I ran 50,000 tests that weren't called for. And what I found was this, that tests that are supposed to be scientific and true and all that, if I test at different times of the day and different frequencies, they changed. Different times of the month, over different months. I couldn't find consistency in them because, like, for example, when you go into a hospital for a test or go into a doctor's office, you're already accelerated adrenaline, norepinephrine, and cortisol. Your stress hormones are up. That's not a fair way to look at it because most people feel a little anxious when they go in, when they got to get a needle. So that's not a fair way to measure me. You see how misleading a test can be.
Mm. Yeah.
And we
Yes.
put all of our stock in it. So
That makes a lot of sense.
here's the best test. How is your hair? How are your nails? How is your sleep? How's your energy? How's your skin? How's your mental process? Those are really good tests. And people that go, I get this other one where people go, oh, he was fine and healthy all his life, and then he got a diagnosis and died. I'm like, like 6 months, it just happened. I'm like, no, that is not the truth. Nobody is healthy and gets a diagnosis and dies. They're unhealthy for a long time, didn't know how to look or didn't look. Now, after 20, 30, 40 years, the body says, I'm not playing anymore.
Mm. So how do we test our saliva and our urine like 3 times a day as an average?
It's super expensive and super hard to do it, okay? You go down to your drugstore, you get a pH test strip, costs about $3. And then you pee in a cup, and you drip it in, you spit in a cup, you don't touch it there, and you touch it in. You compare those results. And what you're looking for is you're looking to get them balanced. And okay. What you'll notice is that when you take diatomaceous earth and Irish sea moss and like burdock root or something like that, but just sea moss is good enough. You can take it a step further by going to burdock root and that. You'll notice that over a period of time, they'll start to balance and level off. Because if this is unbalanced and I'm too alkaline here and too acidic down there, I'm going to be lethargic and slow. My digestion's not going to work. But if I'm the other way, a little bit too fiery, meaning my poop hurts, or I got a little bit too much racing thoughts, or something like that. And for Gemini, that's kind of like par for the course. Then I know the other way I'm off balance, and then I can use things to short-term balance them. Like I can use apple cider vinegar as a way, or I can use sauerkraut or fermented vegetables to bring down the acidity, because most people are most likely too acidic. Mm. So to bring down the acidity, I can drink lemon juice. I can take minerals, and all these things just add up over time. And if I take the apple cider vinegar, like I'll give you an example. Like a couple of weeks ago, I don't take apple cider vinegar very much. I don't use a lot of external stuff, but I just take minerals, basically minerals, power curd, depending on what I'm doing, and that's about it. Oh, fascial fuel once in a while. I go in spurts, but I don't take a lot. I don't take vitamins. I don't believe in taking multivitamins. I don't believe in subsidizing things that my body's not absorbing, because it's not absorbing. It's trying to tell me something. Mm. So what I do is, I forgot what I was going to say. That's weird. I look at my mental health first. How do I feel about myself? Am I telling stories about myself? Do I have narratives? Am I depressed or am I anxious? Because that's a really good indicator of where I'm at. Oh, yeah, that's where it was. Is that, okay, so when I took the apple cider vinegar and I'm like, whoa, it tasted like apple juice. Like, it's not that. And I'm like, it tastes like apple juice. And I'm like, holy crap. For that moment, I was pretty acidic. But I knew I was acidic. So I took something that bounced me off right away, took it again the next day, bounced me off, took it again the third day, bounced me off, took it again the fourth day. And I'm like, again, now I know that, because if my body needs something, it's going to make it taste good, feel good, sound good.
That makes sense.
There's a really famous case study of a guy that was lost at sea for 79 days. And he had no water, but he had a hook. He was in a life raft. He had a hook and a wire. And he would start to fish because he couldn't drink the water. And then he would eat the fish raw, but he was still thirsty. So then he started eating the eyeballs and the intestines. That's where all the water is stored. And it's like he would describe it like it was a delicacy. I couldn't get enough of it. Give me another eyeball. Give me another intestine. Then he got back to shore after 79 days, drank water for the first time, and then the thought of the fish eyeballs in the intestine was like, ah! Because the body no longer needed it. And when the body needs it, it will make whatever you want or whatever it wants seem okay. Whether it's a drug, whether it's a food, whether it's sex, whether it's a fight, you're holding on to anger, your body's going to fight somebody.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. So what about intuitive eating then? How do you feel about that? That kind of goes along those lines, right?
That's all I do. Yeah, that's all I do. Sometimes I don't eat at all. Like sometimes I just stop eating for like a week or 2 weeks.
Okay. I want to try.
Go ahead.
I want to try that, but I'm like working out and muscle building, and my trainer's like, no, you need to eat. You need to eat. Keep your protein at 200 grams because you malabsorb protein, so you got to eat extra. And
there's a bit of truth because you were malabsorbing, but as your absorption goes up, you can eat less and get more. Here,
makes sense.
I'll give you a really good example. Organic versus non-organic. Organic food costs about 30% more than non-organic. Okay, but when you eat completely organic, everything organic, for over 28 days, you eat half the food after about the 28th or 30th or 40th day. You eat about half the food. So now I'm saving 50% because I'm eating half because I'm absorbing more, and it's 30%. So I'm now up 20% even in price. These are these arguments that people go, well, yeah, but I'm mostly organic. I'm like, then don't bother. Because you eat glyphosate, your gut biome's messed up for 10 days. Once. If you have one Starbucks coffee, your gut biome's down for 10 days. One coffee. Not like 10 coffees, not one coffee.
That's
incident.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's
because
crazy.
That's why glyphosate is so parasitic to the body. If the body treats it as glycine, which is building block for a protein building block. And then it just thinks it is. So it's taking a fake form of glycine, of building blocks, and then using scaffolding made of, let's say, plastic, but it's way more acidic than that. It causes calcification. Now we know calcification causes the fascia to stick. When the fascia sticks, my muscles, my bones, my tendons don't move properly. Now I start to get body issues.
Interesting. I have a question about small intestines. So, my common channel for food to absorb is 100 centimeters, which is a lot less than the average person, just because of my weight loss surgery. And I've been having a lot of, not to be gross, but mucus coming out in my stool.
That's perfect. That's because the mucus is coming out. The mucal lining is the body's defense against toxins. So when it's coming out, it means it no longer needs it to defend itself. That means that somehow you're living a better life.
Oh. Because that's increased a lot, and so has gas at certain points. Like, it used to be certain foods triggered me. Now it's like, everything.
So the psoas release and then the organ reset, just do that a lot. Because what's happening is the gas is coming from there. The other thing you could do, like another way to do it, and I do recommend this, is if you go in the gut protocol from BioOptimizers, it's really good because the 28-day reset is meant as a one-time roto-rooter, clean you out. But after that, I recommend, about 6 months of a gut protocol. And they put the HCl, the masszymes, and the P3OM. You know, what's interesting is that, by the way, he took 1,000 P3OM to prove a theory. 1,000 in one day. What he was doing was proving a theory, and the theory was could you overconsume with your body? Would it be too much? And it wasn't. All kinds of testing around it, right? It's part of his new book. And because you have that Gemini mind and you want to know anyways, go get his new book, The Nutrition Bible. It is so good. It literally breaks it down, and they come from the same belief system that we do, that your primary energy is your fascia and your breath. After that, your medication is your food. But if your body's not able to absorb the medication properly, it starts to malfunction. And so you take at least HCl, you take the masszymes and the P3OM, that as a basic, and then they have a couple other gut protocol ones too. But we've also found, tested in their bodies, I'll tell you what their tests were, okay? Again, not making a claim for P3OM or anything like that, but they found, and are for biooptimizers. But what they found is that even with eating foods with glyphosate on purpose, they had no glyphosate tested in their systems with a Cyrex test. And the reason why they had no glyphosate, we believe, is because of the deleterious bacteria got eaten up by the P3OM, the proteolytic enzyme.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, if you watch, you go to Biooptimizer's website and you watch, they take a steak, 6 ounces of steak, they put it in water, and they put in 2 enzymes, and they cover it with 100 degrees, and in 2 days, there ain't nothing but clear water.
That's crazy.
Remember this, okay? About the whole idea of protein, you need to have protein. Well, I eat no animal products right now, and I've been doing that since our fast 3 years, okay? I seem like I'm getting muscular, right? I have 2 to 3 times my strength. The guy who wrote the book at Biooptimizers, Wade Lightheart, is complete plant-based. He just won the Mr. North America as bodybuilding at 50, and he ran a marathon the same year. You do not. It is a lie. It is a complete freaking lie that you need animal protein to get your body to produce the building blocks of protein. Because if you intake 10 pounds of food and water, you urinate, defecate, sweat, and breathe out 10 pounds. It's everything goes out. So what is left over? Well, you didn't use the mass. You shitted it out. Mm-hmm. So you're not using the mass from the protein. But here's how our body works. It works on habit cycles. So, for example, like if I start thinking of something I really like to eat, like chicken wings. Chicken wings. My stomach starts going. I start getting salivation in my mouth. My body's already producing the enzymes and the bacteria based on the habitual intake of that product. And so animal protein is going to get you there faster because it fires a lot of hormones. And then there's all this crap about which diet style now. I'm carnivore, I'm vegan, I'm paleo. That's where intuitive comes in. If you need to eat a steak, eat a steak. But I try to go plant-based as a school of thought from a medical point of view. I tried to do it for 7 years and couldn't do it. I always had to eat a steak at the end, once a week. And that was my compromise. You know, like, okay, I'm plant-based, once a week I eat a steak. You know, like I'm faithful, but I only cheat once a week on you. Yeah, you think about that. I'm in a marriage with you. I'm faithful, but once a week I go out for a little something extra.
Yeah, I live in Alberta. I have to eat beef. Come on.
No, but I mean, okay, everybody's different, and your needs are going to change over time, and it's to listen to your body. But your body gets used to the quickest source of protein. Like if you want to get high and you smoke weed, once you go to heroin or crack, it's going to be pretty hard to go back to the weed. Because your body gets to the end result faster. And your body goes, yummy, I got there faster, because your body's trying to make things more efficient. That's why when we fasted for 44 days, at the end of the 28th day, the habit of reacting to the food went away. Just like stopping heroin for 28 days. And then I got to rebuild my relationship with food. And then when the next time food came in, I told my body when it wanted protein, I ate nuts. And I said to my body, that's your protein. And it goes, awesome, this is great. But that was all about programming. It's not about the external source that comes in. It's about what my body does, because my body only reacts. Remember, I eliminate 10 pounds of food and water if I take it in, so my body's only getting signaling. So that signaling can happen through different ways. Like I can get high. I don't have to take drugs to get high. I can get high through breath. That means that I'm still getting the signaling or the hormonal release another way.
Very cool. One more question. Can you take too much Irish sea moss? I've made my own gel, and I take a couple scoops of that. Plus, I'm on like the regular
Does it feel
supplements.
good?
Is that too much?
Does it feel good?
It tastes horrible. It tastes horrid. Like I have to hold my nose and chug some lemon water with it.
But does it feel good after you take it?
Well, because I'm doing something for my body, and
Okay. So then I want you to pull back for a second, put it in another form so that it masks the taste, like a smoothie. Okay.
Okay.
Then ask yourself, do I feel good after this? Because taking it because I think I'm supposed to is not intuitive, and if you don't do it intuitively, your body eventually will reject it. And I don't know if it's good enough for you, but I know that, and I get it with Irish sea moss. Like I like it now. Like I'm like, give me more. But at first I'm like, give me some water.
Yeah.
But that just changed over time because my body got used to the delivery mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it, that guy who was eating fish eyes and guts, that didn't taste good at first, I'm sure, but all of a sudden his body goes, water.
Yeah.
Oh, I need the water. And it's like, and then it makes it okay. The same thing we make coffee okay or alcohol. The first time we drink alcohol, it's like, yuck, I'm never doing that again. 3 years later, it's like 5 a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're reprogramming your body. So give your body the chance, give it different ways of looking at it.
Okay. And
And by the way, survivalmoss.com.
Yeah.
They're one of our partners. You can get them off our partner store. They have sea moss, and they freeze dry it, and it has no taste.
Oh.
So you could spoon it into water. Like the kids have it. They'll put it on their cereal. They don't even know it's there.
Interesting. I will try that because I've made up a big batch of the gel and I've got it in jars in my fridge and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much here. I'm gonna have to choke all this gel. I think I prefer.
Listen, you can also, it does work. You can put it in your bath too.
Oh, interesting.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look at it's minerals.
Yeah.
It makes a good mineral bath. It's just usually when I go to the effort to make it, I don't want to waste it in my bath. But it works in your bath too. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Try it out.
Okay, lots of pain and tightness in my traps for the last 2 weeks, and it's not even around working out.
Small intestines.
Yeah, that's the whole mucus thing, the whole digestion thing, the gassy thing. I think it's all.
So, harder maneuvers if you can get your daughter into it now. Belly button on torque, ileocecal valve release, and then for you, psoas release a couple times a day. Do that same thing as psoas release, but do it over your bladder. Pull your belly button apart, move around, just get some movement in there. And it doesn't matter if you have a redacted or resected piece of your colon. Your body will adapt. I mean, we take the entire large intestine out for like Crohn's and colitis. The body finds a way to adapt. It will.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to like the changes that have happened in such a short time are just crazy. So I'm excited to keep going, and I'm planning to come to the retreat in November. God willing. I know, I'm excited.
You know what? In November we can give you a little bit of extra TLC. No, we only do it at we only do it for people that are usually in the lifestyle artist program, stuff like that, because right now, if I offer treatments, if we offer treatments coming out, we would have, like when I left the clinic, I had 3,000 people waiting.
Yeah.
I raised the price to $21,000. I had 1,000 people waiting. So it'd be like hundreds of thousands of people, and we wouldn't be able to see anybody. So what we do is we put the qualification is we help you when you've demonstrated long enough that you're helping yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm there. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much for everything you do. Yes. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Carolyn. Great talk. That was fantastic talk. Dr. Arana, hello. Thank you for joining. Dr. Arana, looks like you're in India. Thank you for joining. What kind of doctor are you out of curiosity? Survivalmoss.com. We like those guys. I mean, look, there's a lot of good places to get it. You don't have to buy it where we say. If you buy it from them, we get a small commission. It helps us produce more videos. But you guys do what's right for you. Like, please, like we tell you with all of our supplements how to do it. Even our fascial fuel, you can get beta hydroxybutyrate and you get butyric acid. I mean, it stinks like puke, and you can put them together, and you can take them, and you get the same with a little bit of green tea extract. You get the same thing as our fascial fuel. We want you to be able to get the things that you need at the price you need or at your availability wherever you are in the world. And for us, again, we have a small team. We operate on a limited budget. I legitimately came here, like we're off in Mayakon here, beautiful Siakon Reserve. And you know, like we come here, it's the same thing when I come down from Vancouver. I have a backpack, it's not even full, and that's all that I own. It's the most freeing feeling in the world, by the way. Can pregnant women take diatomaceous earth? Absolutely, Sarah. We have thousands and thousands of pregnant women taking it and nursing women taking it. You may have medical professionals tell you differently, but we have thousands and thousands and thousands of people doing it, working it, reporting it. And again, you know, like at some point, science has to explain why it's working so well. We're no longer on the nut to explain what we do. Science has to explain what we do. Hey, Denise. I got a few minutes before we bring Chris up. We have one of the most prolific series on nutrition coming up. Hi, Denise.
Hey, I wasn't planning to go live. I was just saying hello. Hey.
Hi, Denise.
Hi.
How's your Instagram classes been going so far?
Well, so far I did my first class on your channel on Tuesday. So
it's every Tuesday at what time?
Tuesday at 10:30. So what I didn't realize, because the time, so Jason is live, and I guess he goes off, then I do my class, then you go live. But it seemed to move smoothly last week, right?
It was awesome. I had lots of people. They come into the people that did your live class. They come in, and I get great questions and great responses out of them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. That makes me so happy. Yeah, it's really great. I enjoy doing it so much, and I can never see the comments as I'm doing it. But I get a lot of people that reach out with questions afterwards or thank me for the movements that I did, and it's really gratifying. I love it.
So what's up for you this year? I mean, you're going to be doing now. We're looking for a place to do in-person classes in New York.
I'm looking for a place to do in-person classes for sure.
So by the way, anybody in New York, if you have a place for us to do in-person classes, reach out to Denise. Yeah. Reach out to us.
Yes, please. I'm looking for a place, and also a place. The important thing is finding a place that is consistent where we can carry the supplements for you guys. So that's the important thing. So I don't want to just keep switching locations. So anybody, because I know there's a lot of people in New York. If you guys, please reach out. Let me know if you know of something or have a connection to something. That would be great, because I know so many people want the supplements, and this way it would be easier for them to just pick them right up, save on shipping and all that kind of stuff.
So we got all these content producers that are looking at your content, and they're all professional content producers, and they can't figure out how you're getting 300, 400, 500,000 views on content. What do you think it is? I mean, I know why in my mind.
It is a complete mystery to me, because
really?
Because I'm doing this on the subway. Actually, I have another one to post of a cousin who was visiting my cousin's daughter, and she told me, she said, "Oh, can you do something for my shoulder?" while we were on the bus. So I said, "Yes, but we have to film it." And so we did. And so I'll post that later today.
And just so you know, the way we have a new process for posting. So check in on the media channel with Jason or Lisa, because we have so many contributors right now. What we're doing is taking and picking the best ones and then putting them up in a schedule. and then reposting them from our side and then inviting you. So you post it, do your thing, and then what we do is we pick it out and then we reshare it, because we started posting like 10 a day and 12 a day, and all of a sudden our algorithm went, because we're spamming people. Yeah, we only got 4 a day.
Whatever. You know what? If you post it, great.
No.
Whatever.
What I'm saying is I want to post yours. That's the point. But we do it in a schedule, and then we have other posts around it that look very similar. So we've got a new collaborators, a Human Garage content creator and collaborators
I haven't
group.
been to go to the meeting.
Yeah.
But I saw
But we have it in the app. We're putting all these things in the app: how to do it, how we do it, how to do it right, how to make it work, and we use yours examples quite a bit, because you have a certain flair. You have a market which is our age, and the reason why those posts do so well is because you're authentically helping somebody.
And also, when you say our age, older than but also because I have a young person in there with me. I think so. I'm getting, it's usually young people who I'm on this.
Yeah, but the ones that really ride, honestly, the funny ones do. Like you telling your daughter, get over there. but the ones, like the one on the subway, the last one on the subway, is somebody genuinely wanted help, and you're just helping them out of the goodness of your heart. And that's my journey. That's how I do it, and that's how I know that you really are a healer with people.
Well, I have been doing that my whole life, so I'm as much as resistant to as I was to the whole social media thing. I can see that it is helping people, and so I'm happy to be able to do it.
Yeah, Denise the Scorpio is like, I'm never going to be on social media. That's not my thing. And then, boom, she starts posting, and there are hundreds of thousands of views, right?
Yeah, I know. I hate that you said I would be doing it, and that.
Well, Denise, we're looking forward to classes in New York, and again, your time slot for your class is a 30-minute class.
Not even 25. Well, I usually do go about 30 minutes, but I try to keep it to 25 minutes. It's hard to do that because there's so much great stuff, and I get so many requests for different body parts that they want me to work on. And there are also, just to add, and I always say this in the beginning of my class, there's lots of videos available, but there's something special about doing it live.
There is.
Even if you're not there, just having that energy exchange with all the other people that are doing it at the same time. There's something special about that.
Thank you, Denise, for all you do to help people.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, we're going to talk. We have a nutrition course coming up here by there it is, Chris Kidawski. This is going to be a good talk. Can we talk about B12 for plant-based? One of the things, the iron deficiency, you got to have your minerals right. Hey, Chris.
What's going on, Gary?
Cacao for plant-based people. Cacao. It works awesome.
Did you say a cow or a cacao?
Cacao.
I'll take
both
of them.
It's like 1, 2, cacao.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, well, we had Wade Lightheart. I've been having him on recently.
Yeah.
And he at 50 years old, he won Mr. North America, natural.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
And plant-based.
Yeah, to do that plant-based too is even more incredible.
Yeah, and and what I love about him is the science of food. He's like this whole myth of I need animal protein. I don't. He says I'm here to prove that you don't. But there are mechanics and there are ways to understand the body. And if you understand how the body operates, like any other computer, you can make it do what you want it to do.
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick, Gary. Can you dunk a basketball like LeBron James?
I'm much shorter than LeBron James.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know, but I could take a 175-pound man, carry him down a 45-degree slope and back up without even being winded.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, but
my thing is when it comes to nutrition. Okay. And everything that I've learned, it has been through trial and error, through doing the wrong thing first, and then it leads me to the next right thing.
Actually,
Okay, and
Chris,
what I've found.
before we go into that,
Okay.
because I know a lot of people know you, but there's people tuning in all the time that don't, that are going to
Yeah.
want to come to this program. Give them a little bit of background, your history.
Okay, so I would probably say the best case story that I can start with, okay, is I'm 25 years old. I just graduated with my master's degree in kinesiology from the University of Hawaii. I'm working in a physical therapy clinic. It was called Sports Medicine Hawaii down in Honolulu. And I just had lunch. I want to say maybe 2-3 hours later, I got the worst gastric distension I've ever had in my entire life. I started blowing the doors off of this place, Gary. I had to start to go outside to relieve myself from the excessive gas that I was experiencing. Okay. And I had no idea what was going on. From that point there, I started to consistently have energy level problems. Okay. I mean, I'd get 8-9 hours of sleep. I'd wake up by 10-11 o'clock. I'd be dead tired. I'd come home from work at 4 p.m. dead tired before I'd go to the gym. I'd have to take a nap. And I'm 25 years old. I'm like, what is going on? So there was a very early point in my life where I realized that what I was putting in my body wasn't fuel for my body. Okay. So I started to read as many nutrition books as I could. And every book was the same, whether it was the Zone diet or whether it was, the blood type diet, whether I can't even remember all those books I read. I mean, this is 20 years ago. Okay. But no matter what book I read, everything was kind of the same. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. How is every single one of these books different but the same? It's different, but they're saying the same thing. Until I ended up finding a book called The Metabolic Typing Diet. And what this guy was talking about was that people have certain sensitivities to specific foods. What works for one person may not work for the next. Okay? So when I ask you about, can you dunk a basketball like LeBron James? I can't, you can't, but LeBron makes it look pretty easy. Okay? So what we are going to understand through this course, the 2 courses that I'm going to teach, it's going to be a we're gonna do a undergrad, and then we're gonna do a PhD level course. Okay? And what we are gonna learn is that what it really comes down to in the human body when we're looking at what's mechanistically true with nutrition is that most people are gonna strive where there's balance in the diet. Okay? Where you may have this 0.1% of people that thrive like Wade Lightheart in a vegan setting, okay? Or you might have some people that in the 0.1% or 0.1% that thrive with carnivore, okay? Everybody else, if you're on a vegan or vegetarian diet, or if you're pescatarian and you don't like how you feel, you need balance. If you've tried ketogenic, if you have tried carnivore, I had one of my clients lose like 30 pounds in a month on carnivore. And then I saw him a couple weeks later and he put some of the weight back on. And I was like, geez, man, what happened? And he goes, oh, I felt amazing on carnivore for 30 days. I woke up on that 31st day and I wanted to die. I felt like death. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, man. He goes, something in my body was just like, you cannot do this any longer. So for the last 20 years, I've been unpacking a lot of these truths about, going on these hyper polarized diets where people feel good for 2-3 years. And then all of a sudden they wake up and it's like, something in my body is broken. Okay. So that's basically what I want to help people understand. I want to lay down a base of knowledge about nutrition in the first course, which for some people, it may still be a little bit over their head, but they're going to get recordings to the videos. They're going to be able to ask me questions. And my goal is just like you with fascia maneuvers and everything, is to make nutrition easy to understand.
And we're doing this as a weekly course online on Zoom.
Yep.
People can sign up. It's
Yep.
not up yet, right? Oh, is it?
The free beginners basics course is up right now.
Okay, so we've got an free intro beginners basics course that's up right now that you can go register for. But then we're going to be doing, it's 10 weeks, right?
Yep.
So it's
10
weeks.
It's going to be 12.
Oh, 12 weeks.
It's going to be the first course is going to be 12 weeks. The second course is going to be 10 weeks.
Okay, and the first course is really somebody who is trying to figure out themselves, trying to figure out their lives, their diet, how they feel, how they don't feel, and their things are making sense or not making sense. Or they're a practitioner and they went to school and they learned from school because that's not going to help them.
Right.
And
Typically, all that stuff in the universities or people who went and got, some sort of nutritional certification, all that information, Gary, it's bought and paid for by the companies that want you to peddle their food or their ways of life and nutrition, right?
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're going to be cutting through that bullshit because, like me, I spent 35 years trying to figure that out.
Right.
Actually, hold on a second here. That's wrong. I spent over 40 years now. I spent over 40 years trying to figure out nutrition and health, and I've been on every diet you can imagine. I've tried everything. I've worked it out. I worked on it clinically. I found it worked with some people and not others. We found ways to look at it. That's what Wade has a way to genetically test the body and then say, okay, this is your predisposition. Doesn't mean you have to go there. But there are ways to do it. But you're offering simple solutions that you can just learn your body rather than have to have tools and mechanics to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So the first round is exactly what I am talking about, what you just said, how Wade has ways to genetically test the bodies, to test bodies. That's exactly what people are going to learn how to do in the first course, okay? They are going to learn what their body is sensitive to and what their body really enjoys eating and making energy from. And then when we get into the second part, into the PhD type of course, then we are going to get into a lot more of how do we use food as medicine to heal certain aspects of the body, okay? Or how to keep certain aspects of the body young. All right, you can't tell me that, Gary, if you started eating Snickers every single day, in about 2 years, you would look like you're 90 years old. If all you ate was candy, okay, in about 2 years, you'd look like you were 90 years old.
Yeah.
Right? We can sit here and say that the wrong type of food accelerates aging. So the right type of food should either slow aging or, it should either keep aging at an even keel, or we could actually slow aging down a little bit, right? I mean, the new documentary that came out, everybody's talking about the blue zones, okay?
It drives me crazy when people talk about it because very, very little of that. I mean, they're trying to make evidence out of an observation and tell you why that observation, but at the end of it, there's so many other factors, and they really don't know.
Yeah, and really, it's a good documentary, but that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a really good, fun thing to watch, I guess you could say. I mean, if you want, if you want to make the case, oh God, I've been away from this way of thinking for such a long period of time. I can't remember his name, but the gentleman after World War II who did the study and came up with the fact that fats were bad, when you look at all of his data, he threw a whole bunch of things out because the president at the time ended up having a mild heart attack, and they found that his arteries were filled with, we're going to learn all this stuff in the course. I have not taught the basic part of the course in a very long time. That's why I can't remember his name right now. But they were like, hey, man, we're putting you in charge to develop a food pyramid. The president just had a heart attack. He's got cholesterol in his arteries. There's cholesterol in meat. you can't tell people to eat fat. Okay, so he ended up having to throw out a generous portion of his findings on how good fats actually are healing to the cardiovascular system.
And
so
there you go. Politics overriding instant truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, this isn't like a Mythbusters type of thing. A lot of this stuff is going to be very scientific. You're going to learn mechanisms in the human body on what actually happens when your food is digesting, which a lot of people, you know, I mean, you can't tell me that you can walk into a doctor's office in America or Canada for that fact, and you can watch a video on something like, or you can learn like, hey, you know, what's my gut bacteria doing? What is the correct type of gut bacteria I need?
Even the best ones, they don't know. That's the crazy thing. They don't know.
No, you're taught. I mean, you can talk to doctors, and they say, well, you know, out of the 7 years, we spend about 3 weeks on nutrition. You know, and they're focused on disease. They're not focused on health.
And even then, we don't have a measurement in allopathic anywhere, science or medicine, that can tell you the health of the body. We can just tell you how close you are to dying.
Yep.
Yeah, like we have sick tests. We have sick tests, not health tests.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, or if you want to go anywhere else with the conversation, Garry, I mean, just let me know. But that's going to be the basic premise of everything that we're going to go through. It's going to be, you know, the first part of the course is going to be eye-opening. The second part of the course is going to be life-changing. Okay, so we're going to kind of like, wow, okay, I didn't know that about nutrition. And then the second part of the course, you're just going to kind of be like speechless. And you're going to realize that you've won, that you have a winning lottery ticket in your hand for health and wellness when you finish the course. You're going to realize, wow.
I think we got a good question coming up. Let's see if it works.
Yep.
Balancing Lotus. This is Sid. I'm seeing if I can bring her up. It doesn't always work, so I'm just letting it ride here.
Okay.
She asked a good question. She asked, "What about poop?"
Oh, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn a lot about that too. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about poop. I mean, some people don't give a shit, but I do.
So do I. But I'm
only while I'm eating. When I'm fasting, I don't give a shit.
Right. That's right. There's another one. Oh gosh, did you hear about that? They're actually making a movie called Constipation. Did you hear about that?
I heard that the people making it are stuck up. That's all.
Well, you didn't hear about it because it didn't come out yet. Stupid.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about poop.
So I want to say this is maybe like 2011, 2012, something like that. My brother, my big brother Mark, he loves a lot of gags, okay? And I think I was in Urban Outfitters or something like that. And I saw a book that was called What Your Poop Is Telling You. And I bought it for him for Christmas. And while I was in the midst of wrapping it up and, you know, sending it to him and everything, I just started paging through it. And I found out that it, you know, I mean, different poops are going to tell you different things. So it became kind of fascinating to me. And I was like, wow.
What are the big things that poops tell you? Like, what are some of the big ones that they tell you?
You know what, man? Honestly, I'm going to show some ignorance right now because I just don't remember from the book.
This is all the basics, but like what happens? Okay, so I got one for you. And I know the answers too, so it's okay. We can just talk about it because some of them cross some of the boundaries. But what happens if I have blood in my stool?
Oh, well, I mean, your stool is going to be black, right? Yeah. And that's not a very good thing. We're looking at either a peptic ulcer.
Black. Well, we can have black blood, or we can have red, bright blood. Different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
black blood is a warning sign.
Yeah. Yeah. Black is a warning sign, and then the red is typically, sometimes it's just like an anomaly in the body.
It's like a red comes from hemorrhoidal action or fissures, and that's usually connected to the liver. If the liver is overworking, that's when we get hemorrhoids. It's the liver issues.
Yeah.
And the hemorrhoids are then connected to that often red, but it'll be on the outside of the poop. But if it's black, it means like, whoa, full stop. You need some diet and healthcare, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a problem. You know, if your poop is gray, we're looking at a problem with the liver and a pancreas. Okay. We're looking at not enough pancreatic enzymes in order to digest the food. If your poop is really dark, that means that you're digesting fats really well. If it's light, that means that there may be an issue with the gallbladder and you're not digesting fats really well. Okay.
So what about parasites and worms in your poop?
That means we typically need to go on something like Para-X, which is made by Symbiotica, a company called Symbiotica, and we have parasites in the small intestine, you know, and that's a pretty big issue.
So, okay, moving on from poop. Okay, so what do you say to people that I've been on the same diet every day, haven't changed it at all. I do the same thing every day, no matter what. And I've been doing that for like 20 years or 30 years. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
I would say if you feel good and your blood markers are okay and you're sleeping well, then it seems like, you know, you hit the nail on the head and you really don't have to change much. If you don't like how you feel, if you don't like how you look, if you have frequent bouts of insomnia, or if it's difficult falling asleep, or if you can't stay asleep, you know, if you're having things like heart palpitations, if you're having things like brain fog, obviously then that's going to be an issue and you need to change. The question is, do you want to?
Yeah,
Right?
and that's a good point. I mean, you're making the overall evidentiary point, which is how do I feel really at the end of it? Because if I feel good, but feeling good also, that there can be tricky because, like you said, your buddy on the carnivore diet. The most of the time that people radically shift their diets is because they don't feel good. And what I say to people is that if you don't feel good eating, your body's designed to eat shit and be okay. So if you don't feel good eating, that means over a long period of time, something is not balanced and not working. And switching your diet, your body gets a whole bunch of contrast. And it's like, no, I switched over to this and it made me feel good. But then 6 months later, they don't feel good again. And they just double down on the thing that made them feel good. And that's actually what's starting to hurt them later on.
Right. So one of the other things too is, you know, not only how do you feel when you eat, but how are you feeling when you're not eating? Okay, like there are times throughout the day, obviously, where you guys like you and I, we can get so busy where it's like, holy shit, it's lunch, and like my body's not even telling me that I need to eat.
Right.
When we're talking about something that we're looking at blood sugar regulation, you know, are you the person you always need maybe like a granola bar or a pack of nuts or a piece of fruit or something in your purse or in your backpack? Or are you worried about when your next meal is going to be? Or are you like, oh crap, you know, like this plane ride is going to be 4 hours and I need to pack an entire meal to make sure that I don't get hangry or that I don't get dizzy or that I don't start.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Raya Alaritirat, Free Palestine. I appreciate your political views. I'm taking you off of here right now. This is not a political platform. I'm removing you and your comments. If you do it again, you'll be removed from our lives, our comments, and our platform again. We're here to support information that helps people. We're not here to push political agendas. Sorry, I just had to say that because somebody just kept dumping in the feed, right? Yeah. I appreciate that they're going through stuff. That doesn't belong here.
Yeah, definitely not, man. So,
you know, life gets rough sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like get a helmet. You know, like I spent 17 months in solitary confinement, illegally detained, 27 months behind bars. Life gets rough sometimes. Get a helmet, man. It's like,
Yeah.
I appreciate and have all the space for people who are going through stuff, and I'll talk about the topic anytime, but don't flood the feeds. Don't push your agenda on other people. We're not pushing agendas on anybody. We're sharing openly honest information that helps people make decisions. And it doesn't matter what your pain is, get your body square and your pain is less.
Correct. 100%. Yeah, there's stuff that I want to say about that, Gary, but it would just lead us into a political conversation.
Yeah, we don't want to be political. I want people that come here to be a safe space to learn, because it don't matter if there's a war somewhere. If somebody needs to help somebody in that war, they've got to go somewhere to get the information.
Yep. So just to continue a little bit, Gary, about what we were saying, you know, I see a question here, like when somebody practically perfect says, what about SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth? And it's blanket questions like this, okay, where, you know, your body is a tube, yes, but it's not like you're a house, okay? If one toilet is clogged, that doesn't mean that you have a problem with the other toilets, okay? Typically, when you look at something like SIBO, we give it a label because, yes, there is bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine, but why is that occurring? And the fact of the matter, Gary, is just like fascia, just like pain in joints, there is no one single pain that is created in the human body by itself, and there is no one single pain that goes away by itself. The entire system is working as a whole, okay? So we call it small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, but where is it coming from? It's coming from the freaking large intestine.
Absolutely.
It's coming from the ileocecal valve is
dysregulated.
Not
Dysregulated valve.
What do we have? Do we have a small intestine problem, or do we have a large intestine problem? Do we have a fascia problem?
Do we have a pH problem that goes along and supports all of that?
Do we have an emotional issue, Gary,
Yeah.
with why that started? Okay, so while we can look at these labels, we're looking at the wrong thing. We're looking at it's kind of like look over here, not over there. We want to keep you confused, all right? So you're not going to heal, and you're forced to keep on coming back and getting the next pill.
That's the problem with the current education system, and that's what you're cutting through.
That's right. Okay, so that was just an example. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't really answer the question. There is no.
Well, you're going to answer the question, and because it's not a question you can answer in one snap. That's why the nutrition course is there. It's understanding the whole architecture of the nervous system and the digestive process, because that's what people do. They say, what about this? And I'm like, okay, what about this cancer? Okay, what about your emotional state? What about the pH in your body? What about your hormone dysregulation? What about your eating? What about the chemicals you put on your body?
Yeah.
You know, these are all conversations that contribute to an end result. That there's never one thing in the body. It's a whole bunch of things. Like somebody asked a question here a minute ago, and there's a good one. So what is all this hype about? I can't eat fruit because it has sugar.
I mean, it's one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever heard in my entire life. I consider sugar to be a essential nutrient. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a better view because the sun.
There we go, Hawaii.
Oh, and the rooster wants to come on to the live. So I'm on the island of Kauai right now on vacation. It is 6:25 a.m. here, so it was a little bit black. It was a little bit dark, but you know, when we look at fruit comes from nature. Right? If anybody finds a granola tree out there for me, let me know, and I'll start eating granola bars. That's not saying that I don't eat granola bars, but when you use them as a staple of your diet, it's just not the best. Or if you think that it's the end all be all of a health food, no, it's not. Okay, but you know, when we look at fruit comes from the ground. We have a lot of fiber in fruit. When we look at something like a grapefruit, for instance, grapefruit will stimulate what's called the AMPK pathway in the human body. It helps us make energy. It's healing to the liver. So we find this information in the second part of the course when we start talking about food being medicine, right? I mean, Gary, you and I, we've talked about this many times before. Food does not give you energy, right? We get a majority of our energy, 80%, 80 to 85% of our energy is made through the Krebs cycle, through our breath. But yet we still sit there and say, oh my God, I'm hangry. I need food right now. I have no energy. I got brain fog. I'm so fatigued. That your body's broken because your eating is broken.
Yeah.
Hormones are dysregulated because your body is broken, because your eating is broken. Because your body, okay? And just what it comes down to, man. And everything that we try to learn about in the magazines, that we try to even learn about in school, that we try to learn about through commercials or through, some of these health news organizations, whatnot, which is kind of like an oxymoron. Everything is bought and paid for. There's a war for the size of your stomach every single day. ConAgra needs you to be eating all of the types of foods that they put out, just like Comcast or Spectrum. They need you watching TV, just like Apple needs you on your phone every single day to sell you the next current thing that they're making, okay? And when you are not an educated consumer, you're just going to go to the next shiny object, okay, in order to try. And it's like when people come to me and they say, what's the number one supplement I should be taking for my health? Like, it's food. You're not going to take one supplement and be like, oh my God, that fixed everything. I'm perfectly fine now.
And if you
right?
do take one supplement and it does that feeling for you, then you got a bigger problem coming at you.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how broken our thinking is, Gary. And what I really want to do, when people look at, like, Chris, you must be an expert at nutrition, or you're an expert at healing pain in the human body. No, all I did was I had one of the worst farting episodes in my life, and I was extremely embarrassed in a very professional setting. And I was like, this is a problem that I need to fix. And I went and educated myself on it. And then you go down this rabbit hole, right? And you're just like, Jesus Christ, man, nothing that I thought about nutrition is true.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand what's going on. And the same thing happened with me and my pain. I had pain in my knees for 14 years. And I got to the point where I was like, I was almost broke because I spent so much money trying to fix myself or trying to have somebody else fix me, where then I said, okay, I'm just going to fix myself. I obviously need to correct this myself because nobody can do it for me. So what it comes down to is just being an educated consumer, right, Gary? And that's what I want to help people become, is an educated consumer.
Okay, so let's talk about, we got a free open course for everybody. That's coming up. What's the date on that again?
November 8th is going to be
November 8th. And what's the time?
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And you can go register on our website under events for that right now. Then we have a 12-week beginner to intermediate nutrition course, which you're going to be teaching. Yep. I think the price, what's the price on that again?
$297, was it?
$297 for 12 individual sessions with Chris. You'll have feedback, stuff like that. Who's a good candidate for that? Like, who's the person that should go?
Anybody with lungs and a diaphragm and a heartbeat, Carrie.
But it's meant. Even if I'm a nutritionist, I'm still going to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if I know nothing and I'm basic, I'm still going to learn.
Gary, I'm not here to be pretentious, and neither are you, but there have been people that, registered dietitians, okay, functional nutritionists, okay, like things like that have come to me and been like, I have lupus, but nothing else has worked. Do you have something for me? And 3 months later, their lupus is gone. Yeah. I've had dietitians come to me with celiac disease, and I've corrected a lot of problems, but I still have this problem with gluten. The gluten intolerance is now gone. Okay. I mean, I've had people come with type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is gone now, okay? And I'll get into a lot more in the course, but for me to just sit here and like get up on a pedestal and say, oh, like I'm this gigantic healer with food, I really don't want to get into something like that, man, because that'll get you in trouble really quick on platforms.
Yeah, we're just sharing information. So then
Yeah.
then you could go from a beginner to an intermediate with food, no more than most nutritionists, I would say, after 12 weeks. And then you're going to go to an advanced course after that. So this is something that's going to happen once a week. Recordings will be available. If you miss a class, you don't have to be there for every one. There will be questions answered in real time, is where I find a lot of the question answering is where you get a lot of the value, because there's a lot of information and people are asking it from different viewpoints. And then they're going to get a copy of your book as well, right?
My book that I wrote,
You just cut out.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
We've been good until this exact point, and then you just cut out.
Okay. So my nutrition book is called The Death of Dieting, and it is a great complement to the first course. Just understanding the basics about nutrition and how to feel better, okay, using food. When we get into the second part of the course is where we start really addressing the immune system, the problems that the wrong types of food can cause, and then how things go awry in the human body to where we're just not feeling good on a daily basis. We're not making the energy that we would like. We're aging a little bit faster than we would like, or we're starting to get into allergies with foods and we don't understand. I've always had my coffee and now I can't tolerate it. I've always been able to eat eggs. Now I can't tolerate it. I've always been able to digest dairy. Now I can't tolerate it. Okay. And it's very much just like a car. If you drive a car ad nauseum without any type of maintenance, what's going to happen? It's going to break down, Gary. The car is not designed to run forever without cleaning it up a bit. Okay. So as we start to age, a lot of times foods that we were able to tolerate become intolerable because the system is clogged.
Yeah.
All right. And too much of a good thing eventually becomes a bad thing.
It's going to be a great course, Chris. I'm looking forward to this. We have a whole host of doctors, nurses, food science practitioners that are going to benefit from what you're doing. And the biggest benefit is the experience of being out there and doing it. The focus that you've had, the dedication you've had to learning this craft as a part of your working with the human body shows in who you work with and what you do. So, Chris, thank you so much for coming in from Hawaii. Looking forward to having you back here on the mainland soon.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. The name of the course too, Gary, which I think we're pretty proud about, is called Rebuilding Youth. So we are actively trying to help you guys understand how to stay young, feel young, look young. As you age, that doesn't mean you have to slow down, man. I'm 45 with 2 kids, and I'm typically up at 4:35 a.m. and I'm going to bed around 9:30, and I do not stop at any point in between. I'm not focused on, oh my God, I need to eat this now, or my brain fog, or if I don't have my cup of coffee, I can't operate. You don't have to live like that, okay? You can have a wonderful, energy-filled life and day and just not have to consistently worry about how you're going to feel.
Thank you, Chris. Looking forward to it.
You're welcome, man. Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye.
You guys, if you're interested, the beginner nutrition program is free of charge. It's coming up. There's a 12-part series for $297, and then a 10-part series after that, which is mastery. And you can start off by going to the beginner class. The other classes will be up shortly, but you can go register for it on our site right now. Things coming up. We're going to have to quit a little bit early here because I didn't charge my phone. I don't have a way to charge it at this exact moment. So I'm down, I'm on the red, and it's ticking down. So we are going to finish a little bit early. If you're anywhere near Joshua Tree, 21st.
Come join us.
Come join us in Joshua Tree. See what's coming up. This is going to be the biggest healing event. This is going to be the biggest group healing event that we've ever done. We have people coming from other countries coming in already. We're getting messages all over the place. Get a ticket if you're under 17. It's free of charge. So if you're a family, you bring your kids. We want you to bring your kids. This is all about you taking care of yourself and learning to take care of yourself. But you're going to learn to take care of yourself, and you're going to learn to take care of others as well as a part of this. So we're going to be doing classes. We're going to have Raw of Earth there. We've got a couple other. Looks like Wade from BioOptimizer is going to be there. I believe it's Wade, or somebody's going to be there. We just getting a confirmation right now. You're going to be able to purchase supplements at a discount, at a big discount, as a part of the journey there. In addition to that, we are going to be answering questions and doing Hey Gary, so live and in person, and it's a lot funnier when it's live and in person, and you get to see the end result of the transformation. A lot of times people just need to have a new perspective, and we're going to be giving that. Okay, if you haven't done it yet, go over to our YouTube, register, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Super important. We're building the YouTube pathway right now so that we can start bringing more long-form content to you. A little less social media, a lot more discussions, and we've been curating these discussions for years. Thank you, Brenda Cross Coach. That's awesome. Looking forward to seeing you there. And if you want John, on the look on what's happening on our events section, you'll see Coach Denise and Coach Equay with new classes. The new classes are on Instagram. And also coming up into this weekend and into next week, we've got lots of great content. You're going to see a shift in the way that we deliver content in social media. It's already starting to happen, and super excited about that. With all you content producers out there, you guys, if you haven't done it yet, go to our Fascial Maneuvers page and subscribe to Fascial Maneuvers on our Instagram. You're going to see a lot of content coming up there, so we can split it in between channels. We have too much content for one channel right now. So we're going to be putting it on the Fascial Maneuvers page. You can also subscribe to my page at Gary Lineham. And this is going to be a wild week, guys. If you don't know what's happening, go to Monday's Astro Monday with Chris Witecki, and you are going to be shocked. If you go last week and watch the one from last week and look what happened, you'll be right on track. It's going to be a very, very powerful week coming up. This is a big one. We got a solar eclipse coming up this weekend. It is going to transform you, transform your world. And if you aren't feeling it yet, if you have personal health issues and perception issues and emotional issues haven't hit you yet, they're coming. Take care, everybody.
Looking forward to give you all a hug when we see you. Bye. Have a great day.